Okay. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Miyoko from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. I'm live from Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. How are you guys doing? So sorry, I'm late again. Extremely late. I feel like this is the latest. I am so late. I am sorry, but I'm happy to see your comments here already. Hello, Yoko, and laying down. He's laying down behind. But yeah. Yeah, it should be warmed up. Thank you so much for dropping by at my gaming channel yesterday. Thank you. Oh, Asagumo-san, hello. Thank you so much for coming. Mary back in time. Cool. Hi, Yoko and Hide. Hello. How are you all? How are you? How are you doing? Ma'am, I have a zit here. You stand out. Anyway. あ、スーパーチャー Thank you! ありがとうございます。10年くらい前の本の出版の時から存じ上げてました。おお !YouTube におられたわ。ずっと応援します。ありがとうございます。スーパーチャットも、なんかその優しいコメントもありがとうございます。そうなんです。あの10年前の本が私が出してた動画のなんか本番っていう本バージョンということで出版したんですけど、まあ相当私が書き換えたので普通の方になっちゃいましたけれども。はい。ありがとうございます。Yoko, Ohio! Ohio! How are you? How's the weather where you are? It's rainy here. I think that the southern part of my Kyushu island has already, like it's the rainy season now. So probably my area, the north area will, the rainy season will set in soon. Yes. Hello. Hello. Starting up strong with a super chat. Yes. Japanese kanji. Good to hear that. So I was just randomly checking the news and I saw the good poll, where was it? I was looking at Fox News, Arizona. Trump 51%, Biden 46%. Nevada, Trump 50%, Biden 45%. Trump is winning. So that's amazing. And Virginia too, it's equal, 48%, both ends. And yeah, looking at things like that, and I realized that Biden side is struggling. I watched Rolla Ingram, Ingram Angle or something, and she was talking about how Biden's side's strategy is not working, and it was very convincing. So that's why I put that in the title today. But greetings from the land of the living skies. Hello, thank you so much for coming. So good to see you. Today's newspaper over here was full of news, surprisingly, because it's Sunday and usually we don't get news. But this front page one is talking about Russia's, what you call, like a container carrier. Wait, I need to know that word. I should be able to speak about it. 貨物船英語 Wait, that cargo ship. Okay, cargo ship. Yeah, I hear that often in like a police themed TV shows. But anyway, so Russian cargo ships stopping at North Korea. And North Korean made in North Korea weapons are probably carried, and so mutual dependence strengthened, and so on. And they even have a map too. And what's amazing about this news article is I was surprised like how passionate these reporters are, and where was it? Wait, I want to show you because it was big. Where was it? I need to show you. あれない。どこ行った I'm trying to show you something. Wait for me. Oh yeah. Here it is. Didn't. They have the map too. 本社 meaning like this is 読売新聞 so 読売新聞's pick photos analysis details reported. So this is like a periodical like they figure out the routes or ways that Russia, North Korea smuggling, is it smuggle happening? And they have a map and they analyze like which routes they are using and so forth, like which ports and everything. Isn't that amazing? So cool. But what's the but this is a bad news though, of course, which means this means that Russia and North Korea are helping each other and their ties are getting stronger, and both are, for example, my country is their enemy, like they are our enemy. North Korea, they have abducted our ordinary citizens. Allegedly, over 800 people are still captured inside of North Korea. And North Korea continuously launches missiles to develop nuclear weapons. And like they want to put that on missiles. And they already have, though, like we are already in the range of their weapons already too. And so like national security wise, they are threatening us, and also they have already caused a lot of damages to my country, Japan, and also Russia. We have territorial issues, the so-called northern territories, which were taken by Soviet Union like when the World War II was ending. They just invaded when they knew that we were surrendering, and we already had, signed the treaty and so on. They still came in and took the islands and so forth. And along the way, like when the war was ending, they raped our women, so many, and many just committed a suicide, and also others came back here and went to a secret hospital where they had abortions. Like it was not allowed at the time, but they did it secretly. So we have a lot of issues. So our enemy countries coming together is a nightmare for us. But at least just like this, they are analyzing what's going on. So that's a good thing. What else is here? They're somehow talking about South Korea's medical donors increasing and how Japan is behind. That's a good thing, though. I think that when it comes to population, you want to keep those who are alive today. Those who are already here, you want to keep those lives, right? But then I don't know how Christians think, because it's related to, religious belief too. Oh yeah, this too. This is on a different topic. Normandy. You see, this is Biden. And yeah, he tried to show, I guess, that, awesome. He copied Reagan. Reagan? Is it Reagan, right? Reagan. But then, I don't know. Like, politically speaking, this is a good way to, create the picture that he stands strong and so on. But I don't know. And they keep talking about Gaza and so on. mostly. But oh yeah, and the big thing is the infrastructure of our country today, which includes the cybersecurity. Is there any? Oh, here it is. This is the newspaper from yesterday, and they're talking about the surveillance organization for cyberspace. And you see this here. This is the important part. How do you say that in English? I need to learn English. Is that it? Active cyber defense? I guess in English it's only active cyber defense, but this is a big deal for us. Right now we are working to get this completed, in cybersecurity. Cyberspace. Japan wants to defend our, of course, cybersecurity or cyberspace, but in order to do that, you have to attack, right? In order to protect yourself. And but Japan has our constitution, which limits our activities to when it comes to attacks in general. We have to first get the damage, and then finally we can, counterattack and so on. But that shouldn't happen in cyberspace. And the policies were determined last winter when our government revised the 3 important documents for national security. And now, so basically this will let us do that surveillance, surveillance on a daily basis, and when there are suspicious movements and so on, then we can attack. So that's good. I hope that would be okay. I wish that it would be okay in real life too, though. We gotta attack if we are about to get attacked. Anyway, let's see. Comments, lots of comments. In terms of American news, Steve Bannon has been sentenced to prison and will have to go there in July. Oh yeah, I had to talk about it too. True. I saw the news. How I noticed that is through Jack Posobiec. I met him last year. Such a good guy, and a good father, beautiful wife, and beautiful children. Oh, that family is I naturally smiled every time I saw that family. But anyway, Steve Bannon. Jack was writing that, I stand with Steve Bannon, and I was like, what's going on? And I looked it up on X, and I realized that it's about Steve Bannon having to show up, right? He has to go to prison. That is such an interference, the whole January 6th thing is just weird. I can't believe that it is a thing, Is it a big thing now about Steve Bannon thing? Is it a huge thing in America? Because then I should probably write an article about it. What do you think about AI? It's a new infrastructure and it's gonna change our life dramatically, just like cars or the internet did to our lives. And as Japanese, I would like to think about it in a positive way, because look at, for example, what that means to me as a Japanese woman living in Japan is that's just like Doraemon. And what else? Even Arare-chan too, I guess. We have lots of concepts. We have animations, lots of them, with the concept of AI. Basically, robots, they live with us. They are one of us, and they help us with tips and some kind of knowledge that they can access to. And so that's the, like that's how we feel about AI in general, I think, like culturally speaking. But of course, we know the danger of AI too. Japanese people right now, at least, though, we are enjoying lots of AI products and so on. There are some problems already happening though, but the good side is that, of course, ChatGPT is something that Japanese people are enjoying too. And the second thing is the art side, like photos and just graphic in general. Now people are just, giving orders to the AI service, and they create interesting pictures, and some people post it on X and so on, and we enjoy that. But at the same time, they are, of course, as you know, they are getting all these information sources from the internet, and I believe, and there are some artists and so on that are saying that their ideas are stolen, or like their works are stolen without their knowledge, and that's a problem. Another thing is, what's interesting is that I saw this post of an artist. I don't even know the person, but the person was saying that whenever, like, she is trying, like, she draws, right, like, or paints or whatever, she creates her own art, and now people just call that AI. It's actually her technique and everything, and people are just bashing her, saying that, or I mean, they want to bring her down because they know that it's real, but they want to bring her down, so now they can say like, oh, AI, and so that's a new move, I think. But at least our, like, on a governmental level, Japan is talking with America and other countries to create the policies together. So that's a good thing. So I think that it can become just like in the movie Terminator. There's a good Terminator and there are bad ones as well. So it depends on who uses it. Just like knives, like the knives. When you cut things, a knife can cut your ingredients and let you cook, and it can, basically help you survive, for example, or it could, protect you from your whatever is coming to you as a threat. But in other cases, some people use that to just kill others, and it can be a weapon. So it's not really about the technology, I think. Like AI technology, it's probably about the mentality and morality of humans. That how we just have to, before educating AI, we probably have to educate ourselves. So that's what I think. That was a huge speech, sorry. Did Japanese news cover Biden's accident while attending the 80th anniversary of D-Day? I don't think so, but I did see that. Like, I mean, accident. I don't know about the accident, but like, I did see the footage of him getting escorted out of the event by Jill. Is that it? I saw that on X, but I don't know. Like, I didn't really have the time, or like, what was I doing? Oh, I was recording with my husband when we were supposed to be watching the news, so we didn't get to see the news yesterday. But yeah, but it's not on our newspapers, at least. So yeah. Let's see, anything else too? Oh yeah, and now people. Wait, where did it come from? This newspaper is so thick that it's so confusing. Our newspaper here, I mean, our political field, talking about labor, like make giving a birth should be covered by national insurance is something that they are talking about now because we want to boost our birth rate and economic reasons are the biggest. So super chat, thank you so much for super chat. Thank you. My Japanese language professor is worried that AI is going to put Japanese professor in America out of work. I don't see how it would personally. Oh, because the AI can explain things for you instead of the professor. I guess it's the same logic. Like I don't know what your professor means, but probably my guess is that it's probably the same as Hollywood situation. The Hollywood people, I believe they had protested about AI, that they don't want to get replaced by AI, right? Like they want to write, they want to act, and so on. Probably same for professors, that like AI is actually accurate. Like I've used it. Like now, I talk to lots of people from the world. I interview them and so on. And so sometimes I use one of those. Like I don't want to make a script of that by myself. So like I let the the technology do its job to see how well it does, like how well the service can listen and write it out. And it does it perfectly. And on the top of that, I put summary and a summary button, and then they create a chapters of, like around this time they're talking about this, the next they're talking about this, and I'm like actually horrified like how accurate that is. And I realized like, humans are doing the same thing, but like AI can do it better. So when it comes to analyzing and teaching too, I guess that they can create a good like lines, like I don't know how to say in English, but probably that must be it. But still though, like it's all about what kind of information we put in AI. So, and it can't cover everything. But the ironic part is that humans are the same though. We are not looking at the entire world. We want to, and we believe that we know a lot of things, and we believe that we are, considering a lot of different not directions, perspectives. But it's probably not perfect either. So that's why we need to combine things together, like humans and AI and so forth. That's interesting. Enjoy AI, but get your birth rates up. Shrinking Japan is not good. The problem that I see, like, especially because I talk to gamers now, like younger generation, they are teenagers and those that are in the 20s, and they love technology and they love AI and they love like this is a problem. This has been a problem of Japanese people though. Like we love anime and we love characters, like VTubers, like V virtual tubers. They are not as much of a threat because there are humans behind. But yeah, what would AI do to that sort of things? Scary. Anyway, thank you for your super chat. And hello, thanks for coming. Hello, Yoko. Is it raining in Fukuoka? Yes, it's not heavily raining. It rains and then stops and that sort of things. It's mildly raining, I think. I haven't stepped out of this house 2 days in a row. I think after I climbed I hiked a mountain a few days ago, and since then I've been stuck home. So one day I'm super active, the next day I am not. So I need to do something about my standards. Anyway, let's see. Wait, I wanna look from. They put the map in the newspaper too. Yes, I can see how passionate they are. Yeah, what do you think about Michelle Obama will run and can she beat Trump? Is that like people talk about that, but is that realistic? Because the realistic scenario probably is Kamala Harris instead. That she's a vice president right now, and I'm actually very worried about Biden. Like I don't support him, but he's really old. Like his recognition is getting worse and worse, and I'm not sure if he lasts until November. And if that's like I shouldn't, it's not that I'm wishing, okay? Just I gotta make sure that you guys understand where I'm coming from. But as a scenario, if anything happens to Biden until November, then what happens? Kamala Harris will come to the spot? I'm not sure of the system there. But yeah. But Michelle Obama, I don't think that she has that much of a charisma because Trump is actually strong and Michelle, like she, uh, mm, but wait, she was the information that I had for the first time that Trump won, like or ran. I read somewhere that Michelle was an activist too, that she had belonged to some kind of party. I don't remember it's a Black Panther or Communist Party. I don't remember, but something along around there. That's what my memory says. I'm not sure, but I remember that they met, reading about how they met and like political activities and so on. I'm not sure though that even the information that I saw back then was correct, but I have that impression. So maybe she knows how to think politically, but I don't think the Americans look at her that way. Like I think that Democrats, like I can only guess, but I have a feeling that even Democrats know how good Trump is. That they just don't like the direction that Trump is going or the values that he has, right? But as a politician, he's a great politician now. It was his first time before, but he's used to it now. Like business is similar, very much similar to politics, and I think that people on the left side can see that too. Karafto, yes. That's interesting to hear that Japan has had a complicated history on abortion. It's only during the war. Yeah, I always assumed they were just always indifferent. The Japanese conservatives, I think they fought a lot against abortion before, but now it's you can do it. Yeah. So I think that like Japan doesn't have the Christian values. We have our own values. We just hope that people don't kill babies. Like it shouldn't, like the weight of a life is very very heavy, and we don't want people to forget that. But I hear there was some accidents that happened with foreign workers here, that there are lots of ways that foreigners can come to Japan, but one way is something that I've introduced to you before, that they apply for our national system. For like we have a system for foreigners to apply so that the foreigners can learn some technological things here and then bring them back home and so on. So we it's like a help us help you kind of thing. And sometimes like you are expected to learn here, right? By like while you are in the program. But some foreigners from Southeast Asia or somewhere, they make baby. They make a baby for some reason, like they get pregnant and then they don't know what to do or something. Like I don't know what's going on in their mind, and they get pregnant and then they are expected to go back home then, right? Because they can't do what they applied for. But then if we say that, then they say like, oh, it's racist or whatever. And then some people actually give a birth, and then there are horrible cases that they kill the baby after they give a birth. So I'm like, why didn't they get an abortion? You know, it is so bizarre what they do. Like I feel like we have to educate them with like values to begin with before technology, you know, like we have to make sure that they think like us. Or else we can't have a normal like functioning society. Like I do understand that, you know, there are religious beliefs that are different or cultural values that are different, and we shouldn't change others to something that they don't want to, but they are willing to come here, then they should follow our values, right? Like show some respect. But you know, anyway. But I had a poopy accent? Really? Seriously? Diplomacy from a position of weakness is and defenseless does not seem wise. Yeah. Black Pigeon Speaks made a good video about the Japanese perspective on abortion. Oh, I see. January 6th, survival of democracy and Trump is a felon are literally the only platform that Democrats have to run on. I wonder though at the same time, like if January 6th problem didn't happen, I wonder how it would like where we would be at right now. Like I know that it's useless to think about it, but sometimes I like to daydream. Enjoy AI, but get your birth rates up. Yeah. Japan is ahead of curve on addressing birth rates. The West is about the experience the same thing but doesn't realize it. Yeah. Somehow Japan is watched. Why? Of course, like there are little changes, you know. I mean, like it's 1 point something, but it's all one, right? The developed countries, like we are almost similar, almost the same, like where we stand, you know. And I don't know why, like, oh, Japan is blah 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 blah. Like, are you trying to dodge the bullet by, you know, talking about Japan? Yep. Hollywood writers are so low skilled that a computer code can make a better script. They deserve to be fired. Oh, I really enjoy American entertainment. Like, why do you think I can speak English, right? And I really enjoy American entertainment, even, you know, written by liberals. Because I come from another country, I can just genuinely enjoy like, oh, America, right? Oh, those are American stuff. And I can do that, but I do see the decline in American entertainment. And I don't mind, like, Japan has different values. Like Japanese people have different values from Christian people. So like your LGBT things, you know, like when it comes to marriage, as I keep saying, Japanese people will oppose to, like, you know, it will be divided. Our opinions will be divided, but generally speaking, like we accept LGBT people. There are lots of LGBT people on Japanese media, Japanese entertainment, and whatsoever. They run businesses here. They can freely walk around, showing love and blah blah. They're free here. However, and so so I have that mindset. Like I am open to LGBT people myself, like except for marriage system. And with that being said, like when I watch American stuff now, because they try to, like, especially the liberals, like Netflix type of shows, because they try to put that like in so much, like political correctness. They want to put political correctness so much in their show that the storylines become freaking boring. You know what I mean? And it's so unnatural. And as an artwork, it is horrible, Like if you are trying to depict the like how the struggles that, for example, gay people have or something, or or their own world, that the world that they are living in, they have their standards and so forth. And if they want to depict that, that will make a great work, in my opinion. But right now they are trying to put, like, they're on the same direction, same kind of foundation as before, and on the top of that, like, they try to put political correctness and it just doesn't work, you know what I mean? And it's so like, oh, like, again, Oh, super chat, thank you so much, Heyoko. The reason people focus on Japan's birth rate is because the government doesn't accept millions of immigrants per year to offset the issue. That is so true. That's a good point. I should keep that in mind. Yeah, that is a good point. Thank you. Yeah, because it's actually a set when they, like, remember when Biden said what he said about Japan, like, they don't let immigrants in, that's why Japan's economy is bad, blah blah blah. Like they just combine different things together. So it's all about immigrants when they bash Japan. I see what you mean. And that's a good, important point. Thank you for reminding me that. Oh, thank you for your super chat. Ooh, orange super chat. One of my biggest frustrations as an American is listening to conservatives who push for abortion to be banned at conception, and liberals who want it legalized right up to birth. Both are insane and counterproductive. Because they go extreme and it just doesn't work, right? Yeah. I see. It is very such a sophisticated comment, so like it's hard for me to read, to be honest. But I think I know what you mean. Yeah, like it's always a burden, like both sides on whatever topic too. That we need to, the moderate people need to just do the job. We have to take care of everything for them. Like, why create problems, right? Yeah, it's extreme, always extreme. I see the problem, especially like Christian people on the right side. I'm not gonna bash you if you are one of them, but I don't know. Like, my American friend who is a liberal too was concerned that, Christian people were, of course, like they were always there, but like it was not connected financially, when it comes to politics and so on. Like it has become worse and so on, and like it's, the picture has changed, I think, and it has become extreme than before. So that's how I feel. Thank you so much for super chat. It really helps me. Thank you. That's a good point. You guys have a good point. That's cool. That is cool. Wait, what was I? Or should I skip comments? American here. I've zoned most politics out. I decided a while ago I don't care voting Trump anyway. That's a good decision. I guess that it's the same for other people. And the battle right now, though, especially for Trump, is how to get the how you call that? How you call that people? Always forget. Independent, just independent in general. Yeah, independent people, independent votes. Like Trump is trying to get that together with younger generation, right? So like, guys, like I got confused. That did Trump start TikTok? I have to look that up. Yeah, he did 6 days ago. It's such a turn that because of Trump, we thought that TikTok is a dangerous application, and I'm not using. And whenever I look at like young people here too that are using the application, I'm like, oh, you don't know what you're doing, right? That was the mindset that I had. And now Trump has an account on TikTok, and I don't know how to think, honestly. But I know why he's doing it though. That is because he wants to get the young people's votes. So just like you, Jason, like there are people like Trump supporters that will they will definitely vote for him no matter what, because unless like crazy things happen, and I don't know, there could be an amazing other candidates, but it's not going to happen, right? So, and we all know who Trump is and what he is trying to do, like diplomatically and domestically and so on. Like we know him, and we don't need to actually hear him anymore because we know him, right? And so I think that his team is trying to get the votes from independent and younger people, so that because of that, what he said before and what he's saying now kind of contradicts sometimes. Aside from TikTok, I think that there was something else too. What was that? I feel like there was something else that Trump changed. Yeah, so like he adjusts his levels so that he can get votes, and it's obvious. But then do I lose the trust from him? I personally don't. He's just doing whatever it takes to win. And Biden's side is awful. The way that they do whatever it takes to get the votes is to let illegal immigrants in, like let them flood in. And that's the way that they get votes, right? And compared to that, what Trump is doing is nothing. Like it's yeah. Kamala, what chaos who descended? Yeah. Bill Ayers. Was it the name? I do. Yeah, I do remember about the mentor. Yes, like he has a mentor. What was the book? Like I did read all that stuff. The first time Trump ran. So at the University of Chicago, and he was in a domestic group in the 60s. Ah, I see. Good evening. Good morning, Yoko. Hello, good evening. You can feel the tension in the air, and it's getting worse. I think we are going to see some bad things before November. Yeah, tension. Yes. Such a crazy year. And in Europe, Denmark, did you see the news that is it the prime minister or president? Is it prime minister? She got attacked too. It's awful. And speaking of which, I put right wings in the title, European right wings, because the news covered it here. What is it? Oh yeah. Ta-da! Do you know who he is? With Le Pen, a new guy, a new young guy. He looks very mature though, through the lens of Japanese eyes. But he's only 28. Bardera. I don't know. I don't know pronunciation. But it's a French populist party. So Le Pen type of party, the same party, but it's talking about how they've shifted, which reminds me of what Trump is doing too, that it's lightly, like they speak in a tone of like very light way, and they don't bring out too much intense stuff, but also firmly strong as well. But because of the narrative or the approaches that they have, like they have a new angle now that they are getting support from the young people, and they have a special term. I don't know how to say that in English, but getting away of evil. I don't know how to read. I don't know how to translate that in English. I don't know the term in English, but yeah, they're talking about France and also somewhere else. Holland too, and Italy. So they are kind of compromising in a way, when it comes to the tones that they have. But of course, they haven't changed though within. Yeah. But Germany, though, they are rather going extremely on the right side to get supported. So that's interesting. That depending on the countries, it's different. But for 3 countries that are listed here, they are having this softer tone and focusing on economy and so forth, rather than all this like national security stuff. Just like Abe did on his second term, I guess. Economy and just more softer tone, then people accept you. So that's people are stupid. They get deceive is not a good term, or gullible is not a good word, but you know what I mean. Like people are simple-minded. So they don't really look in details, and they're talking about another thing is over here, American conservatives counter action, and it's handle bounce. Wait, recoil. No, recoil is a gun thing. Reaction. I don't know how to. This is talking about George Floyd's case, and after that, people changed the names of schools and so on. But they're talking about, I think this is in Virginia, was it? Like they are changing the names back to how they were. So that's interesting. Because of that, people are going more conservative. So yeah, just like was it Jason said, that extreme things, like when you go too extreme, then it will backfire. Your opponents will be more extreme to counter. By the way, I briefly saw the super chat, thank you. Does Japan celebrate Pride Month in June? This Pride Month is much more subdued in the West than it has been in the past. I wonder why. はあ。プライド、プライドの月ってそんなないよね、日本。プライドマンス。だからその LGBT とかの6月がそういう月らしい。My husband hasn't even heard of it. So it's not a thing here. I mean, liberals probably have a parade and so on too. You know, like they probably have a march in Japan. I think they would do that. I think I have seen that. I don't know. Let me briefly look it up. Yeah, it's the left side thing, like their active political activity, and it's not a general thing. My husband says that ordinary Japanese people don't even know about it. Yeah, I see I just looked up Pride June in Japanese language, and the hits that I have here is Vogue Japan. They're talking about 5 actions that you can do for LGBT now what QIA plus community. June is a Pride month, and these are like about, and it's Amazon Japan and Panasonic Newsroom Global and blah blah blah. So this is not really Japanese news, what I'm trying to say. So yeah, no, it's a campaign. The leftists have a good network worldwide, so I bet that they are behind the scenes. They are probably having a Zoom call or something, and I mean Zoom meeting, and they're figuring out how to campaign this thing. And this month is useful. Let's make it a campaign. Oh, in my country, I'm doing this. How about yours? They're probably having that. Activists, journalists, and so on. Like they probably are talking to each other, because I have friends overseas and I have meetings online and we think about strategy. So I bet that people that are different from us are doing the same thing. Yeah. So then something, but yes, thank you so much for super chat. For your super chat, it's great. Pride month. June is shame month. Yeah, like it's such a disgrace for June. Do you remember what June was before? June was for marriage, wasn't it? What was that? Bridal. Wait, what's the word? June bride. Yeah, June bride. Like, yeah, if you get married in June, then you're gonna be happy. You're gonna stay happy. And now they're taking over June. I saw an interesting article today too, that in New York, like speaking of TikTok, in New York, they actually approved the bill to banning the services from showing the pictures or videos that could get children addicted to social media, because social media photos or videos, they could connect them to depression, suicides, and so on, if it's extremely used. So that's very interesting. So they include, the bill is about TikTok and Instagram and so on. That they have the recommendation will be prohibited. It's great. It is really like social media really messes up your mind. 5 minutes to go. They try to tell people everybody in America loves Pride Month. Japan should do it. I bet they would do that. Yeah. Mental illness month now. Yeah. Oh, Asakumo-san didn't know that too. Yeah. Yeah, we don't hear about it. Like I know because I look at American tweets and everything, but no normal like ordinary Japanese people don't know. Mhm. Letting illegal immigrants is not about letting them vote. It's about redistricting red and swing states in favor of Democrats. This is why they've kept immigration status out of the census. Interesting. That's interesting. Hmm. you heard Hide? 聞こえたってよ、あなたのあくびが。ははは。He's like, ha, 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 ha. Dun, 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 dun. But let's see. Any other question before I go? 5 minutes to go. There's crazy religious conservatives. I remember the 80s and 90s. There's religious conservatives in the states that refuse to believe dinosaurs existed. What? Even though we have bones and everything? It is a consequence of abandoning respect for life, the family, and the purpose and meaning of culture. Ah, I see what you mean. Oh, this one? Oh, this one. Oh. I confused two of you together. Race suicide has been decried in Western countries for over 100 years. Decry? Decrying? Oh, wait. It's like accusing? Migrants argue for labor shortage but has no impact on birth rates. That's already proven in the US and Europe. Interesting. I hope that's the case. Because like normally like we have Brazilians, because we have automobile factories and somehow Brazilians are working there and they have their community, and so on. But they don't stand out. Instead, those who that stand out here as a big population among the foreigners, or like it used to be Chinese, but now it's Vietnamese, and they eat wild animals or those that are raised, by people. They steal and eat. And sometimes, and it becomes it gets on the news. But so it's totally different cultures. But anyway, and the problem I think is the Muslim people, because they somehow make babies, a lot of babies. So that's my concern. But my friends, like it is Turkestan type of people, for example, like Uyghurs, that are oppressed by China. They are not as deep, like they're Muslims, but they're not, like, for example, compared to other areas of the world, they are not. They don't be. I know that they believe, but they drink and so on, like they're more casual, and I don't see them making that many babies, so yeah, it's difficult to compare. But I guess a certain group of people, they would affect if you let them in, I think. I saw a footage of Paris, by the way, yesterday. It's on social media, and I think it's real. Not sure, but my friend got married, and she was living in France, like in Paris before, but she moved to another country because there were lots of immigrants, and I bet that, like, because I have heard about it, like it's dangerous to live there. She's an immigrant too, just so you know. But like other immigrants, like they were scaring her, and they moved away. But so with that premise, like I looked at the footage, so whether it's real or not, I know that, Europe is affected by immigrants so much so that like what the footage that I saw was like people sitting on the ground basically, and like I don't know what it is. Like they want to stand, like sit on the ground. It is a cultural difference, I think. But like looking at it from my perspective, it is weird. Am I a racist? I don't know, but it's definitely not a European thing. The Europeans that I know, they sit on chairs. What do you think of the Koreans? They live in Japan. Surprisingly, like we Koreans, with Korean people, like Japanese people, of course, we've had a lot of problems, to be honest. However, what I'm realizing is they're so much better than other other people, because let's see, like if foreigners come from Western world, then the cultural difference come in between like so much. It's not that I'm not saying which is better or worse, like just different, so different that it's hard to coexist. With Korean people, we have different cultural values too. Of course, like our religions are different and so on, so they can be other problems, and also their historical recognitions are different from ours. So, of course, they create problems, but not the kinds of problems that we have with other foreign people. So I realized like we actually have a good chemistry, with Korean people. That's what I'm realizing, like along the way, because I see lots of different foreigners creating problems for Japan. And yeah, it's especially Kurdish problem. Did you hear about it? Like I bet that some of you know about the Kurdish problem in Japan, but they don't have a country. But right now they have a community, I guess, in Turkey. But the Erdogan, the current leader of Turkey, is very like he is more of a fundamentalist. And also, if those Kurdish people go back home, in Turkey, then they will get captured and they will get a worst case scenario. They could die. And so they are somehow here, not the US or elsewhere, somehow here. But because I guess that Japan was useful for them, because if they come here just without like they didn't have to have a visa or anything. They could just fly here and then come here, and then just no just don't leave, because you can do that. My American friend actually did that before, and I witnessed the whole process. It was okay because he was waiting for it was a Japanese person's fault, because he had a job apply, like he already had a job and flew here, but he had to come with a sightseeing way for some reason, because the CEO didn't want to pay the extra fee to hire, blah blah blah. But anyway, what am I talking about? You get the message. But now, yeah. Oh, and back in the day, my husband told me about the Iranian case, that there were lots of Ir- Iran, Iranian. Wait. How do you call Iran people? Is it Iranian? Okay, I'm right. Iranian people, lots of Iranian people in Ueno Park using drugs and so on. And there were a lot of them, and it was becoming a problem socially. But after that, like after like governmental talks, afterwards, like they were required to have a visa when visit Japan. And so then like you can't do that, like the airport people can catch them, when they try to enter, because if they don't have a proper visa, right? So that's how the number shrunk. And right now we changed the system for after like the Kurdish problem and everything else, there were foreigners that were staying here illegally, basically. That they can just apply for refugee application many times to extend their stay, right? Like, oh, I'm just applying for as a refugee, and then they can somehow stay here. But now our government has decided that they can only apply for 3 times, and if it doesn't work, they have to leave. So that's a good move. That's how Japan handles things. Like some Westerners often say like, oh, Japan has this problem, that problem, but Japanese people are quiet, so they must not be doing anything for that, and blah blah blah. But Japanese people, we are not moved by voice. By being loud. We just quietly acknowledge problems and we work legally. We just change the systems and make people obey, and if not, we make them leave. So that's the Japanese way. But yeah, with Koreans though, yeah, the Japan-South Korea relation is now becoming better, so that's good. But the problem though is that in Tsushima Island, there's a island between Japan and South Korea, and it's close to South Korea, so lots of South Korean tourists visit, right? But the manners of them are bad, and I guess that the historical dispute gets in the way of them too. I think that they basically vandalize our shrine. So the owner of the shrine in Tsushima Island is angry now, and they're fighting against Koreans now, and they have a X account, so people follow them, and also they get on our news as well. Yeah, so like small things like that happen. Some Koreans, of course, it's related to the historical understanding, but was it a decade ago or so? Korean man came to Yasukuni Shrine, and just like your Arlington Cemetery, it's an important place for us. But Yasukuni Shrine, so South Korean men came and blew up some part of the toilet, like restroom, and then flew back. So we couldn't catch him, I think. I don't remember what happened to the man, but similar things happened with Chinese person too recently. That they flew here and damaged one of the entrance stone, I think, but they flew back. Some like that. I haven't looked in detail, so I'm sorry if I'm wrong in details, but yeah, stuff like that happens, but usually it's due to historical understandings or historical disputes, right? And not like cultural things. So that's actually like I realize now that it's actually not as bad as like compared to other cases with other kinds of foreigners. But anyway, don't the Japanese sit on the ground a lot, or is it just a movie? Only like gang type of people, like not the real gang. The real gangs are actually sophisticated. Like they have a hierarchy, and they have rules, and they're actually like, I don't know, like they have their rules. They are proud to be who they are and so on. But the lower status people, even in the same organization, the small ones, the low people, they try to sit on the ground to look tough and so on. It doesn't look tough or anything, it's just dirty. but somehow I guess that it's their way of rebellion, to the society, because, oh, I'm doing different things from other people, I must be cool, or I must be tough, that sort of things. So wasn't it a big deal when Mrs. Japan was half Korean. I don't know. Was there a half Korean person? I'm reasoning with the sound mind. Thank you. Yep. It's over exaggerated. Turkey, Iran area is a Kurds historical homeland. Peruvians. I see. Iranian, also Peruvians. Yeah. It's like Middle East situation is something that it's been going for like thousands of years. And it's so hard. Like I realized like how fortunate I am to be born in Japan, because we have no problem like that, like we have our motherland. In Japan, unlike other countries, Japan has to be Japan from the beginning. Like if you look at Russia, for example, Putin keeps saying that Russia is this huge federation, right? And he talks on and on about history. He even had the history class for Tucker Carlson when he visited. But his recognition is just fake, because Russia used to be the Mongolian Empire back in the day. It was all Mongolians, You know what I mean? And then they're still offsprings of that generation, surprisingly. Lots of Mongolians and Mongolian culture still there. The empire, the huge empire is still there. And Putin says, blah, 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 blah. Then Russia must be super small, historically speaking. But that's something that we'll be campaigning later. I could go on and on, but I guess it's time to feed my little dog here, meaning my husband. He got up and he's right there. He's hungry because we are supposed to eat dinner at 5:30 and it's 5:22. You can be asking for IDs, passports, and identification. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris says that's racist. How do they? I don't know what they think about rule of law. Seriously. Maybe easier for Kurds to claim asylum for religious reasons. Yeah, the thing is that Japan doesn't allow refugees in. We don't acknowledge refugees. So that's the problem. Like my husband was saying yesterday in our video that it's actually part of the reason, that we don't, like Japan doesn't currently, even though Japanese people want them to be sent back, our system doesn't allow it somehow. Like we don't send, like we could, but we don't for some reason because we have good hearts or whatever. And so my husband was saying that Japan right now, as a result of everything, like Japan is not sending them back. And at the same time, we are not letting them stay as refugees. And so we have to do either, like either like send them back or at least like, let some people, like the actual refugees, stay as refugees. But we're not doing it, any of them. So that's creating making the problem bigger, is what my husband was saying. So yeah, but it's I am sorry for the history that they have, and also I actually had a good impression of Kurds before because they were fighting against the Islamic State and all these terrorists, and I learned about like their backgrounds, like historical background, and I feel like wow, but then how they are behaving here is not acceptable. But anyway, super chat. Thank you, featured dog. Yes, I should buy him something with the money. Thank you. My husband is happy, creating a small sound. I don't think you can hear, but thank you so much. Always. Oh, by the way, you gave me a super thanks on other streams too. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. My husband and I, both of us are like, wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Huh? Oh, thank you for your super chat. I go first and then back. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like Japan has Japan has become a symbol for Western conservatives or right wings that Japan consisting of Japanese people, and we basically don't like we welcome foreigners, but we recognize Japanese people as ourselves, right? Like foreigners are foreigners, so we have that distinction. And I think that Western conservatives and right wings have think that it's a good thing, and they want their country to be like us, and they use us as an example. And so Japan, as a Japanese citizen, I feel like my country has to, continue with that way of living for to become a good example too. So yes, I really want them. Like all these illegal people, they can't even obey the legal system. So what can they contribute to our society, right? And how are they going to live with us if they can't follow the rules? So I really want them to go back to, like one of them just kept applying, and the person, like he lived here for 14 years by just bailing out of that. So crazy. But we're, stopping all those thoughts of things from happening. Don't change Japan. There are some foreigners that want to be recognized as Japanese, and it's weird, yeah. I'm like, why can't you be happy with who you are, I mean, I kind of understand because long before I wanted to become an American. So I kind of know that feeling, but then it's just sad because for me, I wanted to become an American citizen because that motivation and the motive was coming from hatred towards my own country. I really disliked being Japanese because I was taught in school, like I was taught all this horrible history in school about my own country. Like I felt like my pride was taken away. I really was ashamed of being Japanese, and together with that, like there are certain people, that bash Japan, like making fun of all this like a modern Japanese culture and so on. And I felt ashamed to be Japanese before. So at that time, I was hanging out with Americans and British people that were living here, and they have the same type of view. They had the same type of view, and so they were feeding me the wrong recognition, and I felt more and more ashamed. And also, then they looked cool, because of that. So I was like, oh, I want to go to that side of the game, and I wanted to become an American. And American English is beautiful, so I want to, speak like a native speaker and blah blah blah. And so like I was like, I love America today, but back in the day, I think that I liked America for the wrong reasons, the motive, where I was coming from was wrong, and so on. And they're asking for millions upon millions of Indians to go to Japan. Yeah, Indians are the next threat. But I think that they will go to the US, for example, because we have a lot to offer, but only, I think, in like a technological field. Other than that, it's not very appealing, I guess, for them because it's hard to live here. Our culture is very severe, and we have a lot of rules, like unspoken rules included, and we don't like generally we don't like foreigners, right? Like foreigners will be foreigners here, and it's gonna be tough. On the other hand, America is very tolerant when it comes to immigrants, and they have a lot of opportunities in the society, like American dream. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. But right now though, like China had the biggest population, and we don't see Chinese people here. Like they are, but and I bet that Tokyo is a chaotic place, or Osaka. All these big cities, I bet that it's full of foreigners. But Chinese people, like here, like we have a certain areas where Chinese people live, but it's not like America. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's going to be the same for Indians, that even though their population is big, right now we already have a bit of Indians, oh, they make great curries. I'm not being a racist. They just run Indian restaurants, lots of Nepal people are included, though they pretend to be Indians and make Indian curry, Nepal people. But anyway. I don't hate my country anymore. I love my country. I am so fascinated by my own country and my own people that have, protected this country. Seriously, it's generations of generation. Like there are lots of patriots that have protected my country, and it is such a amazing thing that I feel connected with them. Because even though I'm not, my standard is compared to them, I'm nothing, but still, like at least I have that heart, as a patriot, and I want to carry on their souls. And my husband has shown like how Japan is and what our people have fought for before, and so I have a great mentor right here, even though he's like a even though he's like a dog to me. But he's a great mentor politically. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for many comments. You might think that, but if you go to Canada, it seems like a little India. Canada is like, there are lots of Chinese and Korean people too there. I just feel like Canada in general, like they have lots of foreigners there, like immigrants, because my Hong Kong girlfriends too, I think some of them went to Canada too. So it's just how Canada is. It's, I don't know what kind of image you have about Japan, but we are so different. So different. Because Japan, as I said, Japan has been Japan for such a long time. It's gonna be 2,700 years since Japan was built. Such a long time, right? In the meantime, we have been, like, Japanese people have been Japanese, and it's just different from other countries. And it's probably not convincing because I'm Japanese and I'm a patriot, and you probably will think that I'm saying that because I want to think that way, but objectively speaking, it's just how it is. The length, the period matters. But anyway. Oh yes, SCP is active, yes. What was interesting about Canada though was that Sikh people, I think that because of the relationship that Canada has with India, the current Modi administration, I believe, if I remember correctly, there are like Sikh people, that are against Modi, the current leader, and then they arrested, or is it kill? Like they had a problem, right, with the opposition of India. So that's an interesting point. But anyway, my husband's favorite show has begun, and I think I have to go. He has it on mute, so I have to I have to go for him. Sorry, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really enjoyed our conversation and so much super chat, man. A lot. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It means a lot. Let's get together next week as well. I hope to come earlier. Okay. It's good to see all this like-minded people, gathering here like this. Like it's such a like I feel supported and supportive too. So let's stay together and survive this fight and this generation. Okay. Before 200, yeah, I think so. Yeah. Like I'm talking about the when country was built. So yeah, like the first first emperor got to the place to the 100 almost to 2700 years ago almost. But yeah, anyway, gotta go. Bye, Yoko. Thank you for sticking to the end, guys. Thank you. Oh, you guys were, some of you were quiet. Thank you. See ya. Have a good day. Have a good night. If you are going to sleep, sleep well. Himiko was already there. That's a controversy. Okay. Oh, you missed me. I'm gonna go now. Thank you though for coming. Okay. Thank you guys. Okay. I'll see you in a week. Okay. Bye.